Electric Fire Book 2 Hidden Chains Chapter 15.
It was nice to sit in silence for a bit. Well, aside from listening to the nature that was all around us. I decided to break the silence between us. There was a question on my mind. Now that I've, been meaning to ask, but never got around to it. Sonic, I was wondering if you think I actually have a purpose. I mean, on why I'm still here. Not that I don't like being here, but it's just, I don't exactly feel like I belong here. I mean, if Gun finds out I'm still here.
We'll figure it out. But as for a purpose, do you mean on life or something else? I mean, achieving a goal isn't exactly a purpose, or some kind of destiny for letting you just do with what you're given that counts. I know you said Gerald meant for you to be a cure, right? And that's why you were made. But one person doesn't define your purpose. You find that on your own. I can't exactly explain it that well, but at least that's my way on looking at it.
I was just amazed. I stared at him blankly. Somehow it made sense though. So, it's what I do instead of what I'm told to be that determines my purpose in life. Maybe instead of searching for it, I should just be here in the moment. He didn't seem to mind the look. I felt Sonic was right on this one, but then we both heard a noise from downstairs. Something fell as we heard Ozzy growling at something. I got up first and decided to jump down from the window back into Sonic's room. I didn't want to waste any chaos energy in case this was an intruder in the house. Sonic followed behind me. We both landed on his bed just fine, but the bed had bumped the wall. It left a small mark, but we didn't care. Our attention was on whatever the dog was growling at. I crept silently down the stairs, trying not to make a sound, not even a creak. It was hard since the stairs didn't have carpet on them. Even with my best efforts, the stairs did let out a soft sound. The wood creaked as I took a step. It was light, but it was loud enough to draw unwanted attention. Sonic followed behind me. He too tried hard to not make a sound, but with each step we took, the stairs would creak. Ozzy wasn't growling anymore, which was a bad sign. That meant we probably got someone's attention. We both stopped to listen for any movement.
Do you think that robot is back?
Sonic whispered softly. He stayed close behind me. I didn't reply. I wasn't exactly sure. As I crept around the corner to get a peek, Ozzy was lying on the floor of the kitchen. He seemed fine. His tail wagged a bit, but then he started growling again. He was facing away from us. Then we both heard no noise in the kitchen. The box of donuts had fallen. I wasn't able to see what had caused it to fall, so I crept a bit closer to get a better view. Two raccoons had gone into the house. One was on the counter and the other was on the floors, averaging the remains of donuts. I decided to play a joke on Sonic. I fell to the floor. Sonic, get back, they're armed! Sonic fell for it. He got down on all fours and crept close to me. He was concerned as I acted like I was injured. Once he noticed the raccoons, his concern vanished. I just laughed a bit. Gotcha, I called out between laughs. It was fun to scare him.
Seriously? I actually thought you were hurt.
He pouted as I sat up. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Anyway, how the heck did they get in? Sonic then pointed to the doggy door that was on the back door.
Probably from there. Tom's been trying to get rid of them for a while. He and Maddie set traps before, but seems they're too smart and know the traps they set up weren't for killing them. Maddie isn't a fan of those. She likes the catch and release method better.
But then we heard something behind us. Two robots were there. One looked exactly like me. The other was Metal Sonic. They had come in from the front door. The door slammed closed behind them. For a split second, I thought I saw a gun agent behind them as the door closed. Sonic got up quickly. His quills were standing on end. I followed his lead, except I didn't have any electricity. but I did unleash some of my chaos energy. Sonic smirked.
Well, I guess someone got upgraded. Well then, this will be fun.
Sonic's confidence seemed to be growing a bit. But then again, we heard helicopters above us, and then there was a speaker.
Shadow and Sonic the Hedgehog, come out with your arms up.
Was it possible Robotnik had these clones of us do something terrible, so we would get blamed? There was no way I was leaving the house, not when Gun were outside the house. They let them here. Sonic then looked back at me in shock for just a moment before looking back at the robot clones.
You let them here? Alright, now we need to teach these fake hedgehogs a lesson. It's personal now.
Sonic yelled as he lunged for his metallic copy. I decided to go with it and attacked my own clone. It was tough though. The metal was hard to dent or even leave any sort of mark. Sonic was having trouble as well. Even if he didn't have electric powers, my Chaos Spear attack barely did any damage. This fight wasn't exactly easy, especially dodging the clone's attacks from bullets to missiles. At one point, it needed to reload its weapons. That was when I went for the strike. I punched it so hard I sent it flying into the wall. Sonic was having trouble this time with his metallic copy. He was in a chokehold held up a few feet above the ground. I went to help him by sending a powerful kick to Metal Sonic's back. It barely did anything, but he let go of Sonic and turned to face me. My fake though came out from behind me and grabbed me. I was kicking and trying to punch him, but my struggles were futile against the other. Sonic though lunged at the clone of me. He didn't exactly have enough time to recover from Metal Sonic's grasp. He was inches from my clone's face when Metal Sonic grabbed him by the leg and pulled him backwards, causing him to crash into another wall. "Sonic!" I cried out, but no answer. He looked up at me as he fell to the floor, hurt. He didn't get up though. I should have held my anger back, but I couldn't. It just rose up to the boiling point. I unleashed a chaos blast without even thinking. At least it wasn't a huge one, so the house wasn't destroyed. My chaos energy was weakened from however many times I used Chaos Spear, so that was a good thing. The blast was enough to knock out any power in my clone, at least for a couple of minutes, so I was able to fight Metal Sonic. I was still angered at him for what he did. I fought without any mercy, but it was hard without the electric fire in my veins that helps fuel my chaos energy. I had enough chaos energy to keep me alive, but I didn't have enough in me to use for attacks, so I used blunt force. Sonic was defeated. He was still alive, but unconscious. He tried so hard in this fight, but he failed. I almost won until my clone came back online. I ended up like Sonic. Instead of me and Sonic being taken to Gun, well, we were taken back to Robotnik's truck. It was better than Gun it, at least for me. But then I wondered what happened with the agents. Or maybe that was staged. It made sense if it were Robotnik probably heard from Stone about Gun and how I was afraid of them. And well, we were taken to Robotnik's truck pretty quickly. Perhaps he had made it sound like helicopters were near us. Now that I think about it, the gun agent I saw did kind of look like Stone. Robotnik even sounded like an agent through the speaker. When I awoke, me and Sonic were handcuffed together. Our backs were against the wall. Our legs were chained up against the wall of the truck. We couldn't move much. I was the first to wake. I looked around a bit. I was back in the truck, but this time as a prisoner instead of a friend. I could see Stone and Robotnik in the front of the truck. Robotnik and Stone were talking as Robotnik drove to wherever we were headed for. I had a bad feeling about this as Robotnik drove over a bump. There weren't any windows where me and Sonic were. It was hard to tell where we were at the bump, though it hurt a bit as we went over it. Sonic seemed to feel the same pain as he awoke with a groan. Stone looked over at us. I quickly pretended to still be unconscious. Sonic looked up at Stone though. He instantly regretted it since I could hear Stone whisper,
"The blue hedgehog is awake, sir."
Robotnik didn't reply, though he kept his eyes on the road. I could feel Stone's gaze on me as I made no movement, until I felt he had turned away. I looked up only to have my eyes meet Sonic's before he motioned his head towards something. I looked to see our clones in their charging stations. I then looked back at Sonic. I could see a bruise was starting to show on his face. He probably had more from the impact of him crashing into the wall. A terrible feeling washed over me as I felt the truck turn and then park. We had arrived at our destination.